Everyone thinks they know Japan, Tokyo's neon, Kyoto's temples, the bullet train, but that's just the brochure. What about the Japan hidden in the shadows, down unmarked alleys, or on forgotten islands, where tradition isn't a show but simply life? This is a journey into that other Japan. We're peeling back the veneer to find something raw, something real. If you're tired of curated experiences and crave something deeper, you're in the right place. Stick with me. Let's see what we find when we leave the trail behind. Temples in the cities are beautiful, their roofs arching gracefully above the bustle of modern life, their gates standing as silent witnesses to centuries of change. They are places where the old and new Japan meet, where the hum of traffic is softened by the hush of incense and the gentle clatter of wooden sandals on stone. These urban temples are undeniably stunning, their architecture a testament to the skill and devotion of generations past. But as you wander their polished courtyards and admire the carefully preserved artifacts, there's a sense that something essential has been tucked away behind glass. The experience feels curated, like walking through a living museum, where every detail is arranged for the eyes of visitors, and the sacred is sometimes overshadowed by the spectacle. To find the real spirit of these sacred places, you have to leave the city behind. You follow moss-choked paths that wind through forests of ancient cedars, their trunks rising like pillars in a natural cathedral. The air here is thick, not just with the scent of earth and pine, but with the weight of centuries of whispered prayers, carried on the wind and absorbed by the stones beneath your feet. Each step takes you deeper into a world where time seems to slow, and the boundary between the human and the divine grows thin. Here, shrines are simple, weathered, and honest, structures built not to impress but to endure. Their wood is rough, their paint faded, their carvings softened by rain and sun. These are places made for the gods, not for tourists. There are no crowds, no souvenir stands, just the quiet presence of the forest and the gentle creak of old timbers settling into the earth. Step inside, and you're greeted by a silence that is anything but empty. The light is dim, filtered through paper screens and the leafy canopy above. The scent of old wood mingles with the faint trace of incense, lingering from prayers offered long ago. Every surface tells a story of devotion, of patience, of a quiet faith that endures even as the world outside rushes on. Sometimes, if you're lucky, you'll meet an old priest or monk moving slowly through the grounds with a bamboo broom, sweeping away fallen leaves with a care that speaks of deep devotion. He may offer you a cup of green tea, its warmth a silent invitation to pause and share a moment of stillness. In that shared silence, words become unnecessary. The simple act of being present together, surrounded by the hush of the forest, says more than any conversation ever could. These places force you to slow down, to let go of your schedule and the constant pull of notifications. Here, you are invited to simply be, to listen to the wind in the trees, to feel the roughness of stone beneath your hand, to notice the way sunlight filters through the branches. The world outside fades away, and you find yourself fully present, attuned to the quiet rhythms of the forest and the temple at its heart. When you finally leave, you carry something with you, a piece of that silence, a memory of sunlight on moss, the echo of a bell in the distance. It's a reminder that the most profound experiences are often the quietest, that true connection is found not in spectacle, but in stillness. The forest and its shrines linger in your mind, a gentle whisper urging you to seek out moments of peace in your own life. As you walk away, the temple disappears into the trees, its presence fading into the hush of the forest. It waits patiently for the next visitor who knows where to look, ready to share its quiet wisdom with anyone willing to listen to the whispers in the cedar. Japan isn't just 4 islands, it's thousands, scattered across the sea. On remote islands, life moves to the rhythm of tides, the air thick with salt and the scent of drying fish. These are hard places, shaped by the sea's generosity and cruelty, where communities are small and hospitality is unvarnished. The landscapes are raw, volcanic coasts, black sand beaches, dense forests, and the culture is a wild, living blend of tradition and survival. At night, the sky is a riot of stars, and the food is whatever the sea provides, simple, honest, unforgettable. Leaving, you feel stripped to the essentials, reminded of what matters. The salt lingers on your skin, the wind in your ears. A piece of this harsh paradise stays with you. It's a beautiful struggle and it changes you. In rural Japan, the passage of time is measured not by clocks, but by the steady rhythm of hands at work. Here, Things are made to last, crafted by artisans or shokunin who dedicate not just years but entire lifetimes to their work. Their commitment is visible in every gesture, every careful movement, and every finished piece that leaves their hands. These artisans are the keepers of tradition, quietly shaping the future by honoring the past. In their world, mastery is not a destination but a lifelong journey. Each day they return to their benches and wheels, repeating the same motions, refining their skills, and deepening their understanding of their craft. In dusty workshops filled with the scent of earth and wood, potters, papermakers, and swordsmiths practice skills passed down for centuries. Each object they create bears the mark of its maker: a fingerprint, a subtle curve, a unique imperfection that tells a story. These are not just objects, but living testaments to the patience and devotion of their creators. The process is slow, repetitive, and deeply intentional, a celebration of imperfection and the human touch. Every step, from kneading the clay to folding the paper or tempering the steel, is performed with a mindfulness that borders on meditation. Mistakes are not hidden but embraced, for they are proof that a human hand was here. The journey begins long before the workshop doors open. Artisans often gather their own materials: clay from a nearby riverbank, bark from mulberry trees, or iron sand from mountain streams. This connection to the land is woven into every piece, grounding their work in the rhythms of nature. These crafts are acts of defiance against disposability, each piece a story of patience and pride. In a world obsessed with speed and convenience, these objects remind us of the value of slowness, of taking the time to do something well. Each bowl, each sheet of paper, each blade is a quiet rebellion, a refusal to let tradition fade away. The villages where these crafts are born may be shrinking, their streets quieter with each passing year. Yet, within these humble studios, every bowl, every sheet of paper is a small piece of immortality. The work of these artisans outlives them, carrying their spirit forward into the future. Sharing a meal with these artisans, you sense their quiet passion and the sacredness of their work. Their lives are simple, yet rich with meaning. Over bowls of rice and cups of tea, they speak not of fame or fortune, but of the satisfaction found in a well-turned pot or a perfectly folded sheet of paper. Their tools are worn smooth by years of use, their workshops more dojo than factory. Each tool is an extension of the artisan's hand, shaped by decades of practice and care. The walls are lined with memories, each nick and scratch a chapter in the story of a life devoted to craft. When you hold their creations, you feel the time, skill, and soul poured into them, a tangible connection to something real. In a single bowl or blade, you can sense the heartbeat of a village, the wisdom of generations, and the enduring beauty of things made by hand. These are the true hands of time, shaping not just objects but the very fabric of culture itself. Before shrines and temples, there was Shinto, the belief that gods reside in rocks, trees, rivers, and mountains. To understand Japan's soul, you walk in ancient forests like Yakushima, among thousand-year-old cedars draped in moss. The silence is alive, the air thick with legend. You feel small, a guest among giants. Climbing sacred mountains on old pilgrim trails, you shed the noise of modern life, each step a form of purification. Along the way, humble markers, stone statues, sacred ropes, quietly acknowledge the sacredness of the land. Reaching a peak or hidden waterfall, you feel connected to nature and to generations of pilgrims before you. The journey is humbling, sometimes dangerous, but in that humility is freedom. You return changed, the world sharper, colors brighter. You've walked where the gods walk. Tokyo's food scene is world-class, with its dazzling array of Michelin-starred restaurants and innovative chefs pushing the boundaries of flavor. But to truly understand the soul of Japanese cuisine, you have to leave the neon lights behind and venture into the regions, where food is more than just sustenance. It's a living story, passed down through generations. Here every dish is a reflection of the land, the seasons, and the people who call it home. In the snowy north, where winters are long and harsh, families have learned to preserve the bounty of summer. Root vegetables are pickled and stored, fish is salted and dried, and hearty stews simmer on wood-burning stoves. These preserved dishes are not just about survival, they're about savoring the memory of sunlight in the depths of winter, about resilience and ingenuity in the face of nature's challenges. Travel to the coast, and you'll find a different story unfolding. Here the sea is generous, and the catch of the day is so fresh it barely needs seasoning. Fishermen rise before dawn, bringing in glistening fish that are transformed into delicate sashimi, or grilled over open flames. Soba masters knead and cut buckwheat noodles by hand, their movements honed by years of practice. Local farmers bring in baskets of just-picked vegetables, each one bursting with flavor and color, a testament to the richness of the soil. In the mountains, clear streams provide the pure water needed to brew sake, a craft that is as much about patience as it is about skill. Sake brewed with mountain water carries the essence of the landscape, while meals here often feature wild mountain vegetables foraged from the forests and fields. Each bite connects you to the rhythms of nature and the traditions of those who have lived in harmony with it for centuries. The best food in Japan is fiercely local, stubbornly unique, and often found in places far from the tourist trail. Each region guards its culinary secrets, from miso with a distinct local flavor to noodles made with water from a particular spring. These dishes are shaped by geography, climate, and history, and they tell the story of a community's relationship with its environment. Eating in rural Japan is a celebration of diversity and survival. You'll find colorful pickles lining the tables, each one a different shade and flavor, made from recipes handed down by grandmothers. Meals are prepared with care and intention, often by obasan who cook not from recipes, but from memory and instinct, infusing every dish with love and tradition. You'll eat in tiny restaurants with just a handful of seats, or at roadside stalls where the aroma of grilling dango draws travelers from miles away. Sometimes the best meals are found at a humble food stall, where the chef knows every customer by name and every dish is made to order. The people who serve you are often the keepers of tradition, cooking over an irori hearth, or preparing a dish exactly as their parents and grandparents did. They cook from memory, guided by the seasons, and by a deep love for their craft, eager to share a piece of their world with you. In these places, food is about more than just eating. It's about context, about the community that gathers around the table, about the stories that are told and retold with every shared meal. It's about the laughter, the warmth, and the sense of belonging that lingers long after the last bite. The memory of a meal in Japan is more than the taste. It's the feeling of being welcomed, of being part of something bigger than yourself. It's the quiet satisfaction that stays with you, a reminder of the people you met and the places you visited. When you eat this way, you're not just a tourist passing through. You become a participant in a living tradition, welcomed into the daily life of a community. You support a way of life that values connection, craftsmanship, and respect for nature. Every meal is an act of support for local farmers, fishermen, and artisans who pour their hearts into their work. You taste the difference in every bite, and you carry those flavors with you long after you leave. The taste of a place is more than just a flavor. It's a memory, a connection, a story that stays with you wherever you go. In Japan, every meal is a bridge between people and place, a flavor forever linked to the land and the stories of those who call it home. We've wandered off the beaten path, listened to temple silence, felt island winds, tasted the countryside. This is the Japan that haunts you, the one that rewards those who get lost. The best journeys don't have a clear map. Burn the itinerary, get lost, talk to strangers. Eat the weird thing. The stories you'll tell are never the ones you planned. Subscribe, stick around, and keep exploring beyond the edge of the map. The world is bigger and stranger than you think. Go see for yourself.